Here as we head into Taco, and I will say this, I'm very curious to see if we are going to get the consistency from Na'Vi or if they were just able to kind of make the best out of that game.
That's the weird thing with Na'Vi, right? Sometimes they make that one game just a double-digit kill finished as it was here, and then go straight back to a 0-point performance right next. But as we alluded to coming off of the previous game, a hot Na'Vi is a dangerous Na'Vi, and as you say, they can bring this one through. They might just qualify for grand finals in day one.
I mean, I would be lying if I said I'd be surprised if they made it to grand finals, right? I almost expect them, especially in this lobby, to make it to the grand finals. But yeah, obviously a very good start to the day. First game, 0 points. Second one, they made up for that by getting 16 kills and a win. So it's going to be a nice 26 in their bucket. As we see, I doubt we're going to see any hot drops, honestly, especially coming into a lower bracket. I don't think the teams can afford to have those early games.
No, not at all. Not at all. We've had I feel like, pretty good variety of circles here on Taco. We've been down towards southeast. We've been up to the northern island. We've been out east towards Kanyong. We're only really missing Shipyard and Airport and that whole like northeastern sector of the map. That's the only area that I've still really yet to explore in terms of Taco finishes. So how about that game? If I could feed that to you,
I would love that, or I would also love Hop-Ho. We actually haven't seen too many games end around Hop-Ho on the very west edge or the northeast, as you were saying. So as far as everything else, though, the circles have been really fun to watch. Obviously, there's so many dynamic areas in Tago because it is truly a mix between what we've seen in Erangel and Miramar. As I'm fine with this, I absolutely love these northern circles. Again, there's just so much terrain to play on foot, and it's so conducive to that play style.
Really is, and I guess both good and bad. A lot of teams already up on the northern island too. Now, the last time we saw a northern circle, there wasn't really any attempts at bridge camping. Again, as I've talked about in previous broadcasts, it's one of the big differences from, let's say, Erangel to Taco is that around the river, leading all the way from Hapo up towards Shipyard, it's just so open. You can see it here. This is the eastern river, but the other one is pretty similar. It's so open all around the river banks here, and it's just, I think, making it that much more risky to sit around and wait for cars to come to you, because I mean, any team that have already crossed on over or that backfills you, there's not that one shack you can go hide in. There's not that one rock you can hide behind. If you're sat trying to camp cars, for starters, they will probably see you from the other side before they cross. And secondly, if you do get shot at from your own side, there's a long way to cover.
Yeah, the other issue with that on top of it is just the fact that there's already so many teams rotating that area, right? So it becomes so difficult to kind of hold that, any one of those bridges for multiple teams, especially when you have, as you said, teams on your backside realizing that there is a bridge camp happening and they can just very easily backfill you and put the damage onto your team. So I'm curious to see when we will see it. I do believe it'll happen eventually.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's a difficult prospect to bridge camp on this map, even though you would think there's a lot of bridges to camp.
They definitely are. Whether they be double takers or half bridges, it's with kind of jumps in between. It's plenty to pick and choose from. But again, didn't see a whole lot of commotion last time around. Not expecting to see it this time either as Lyrics. Now, last game it was Savim. Last game it was Savim getting to just loot Zenith's building and leave again. This time around, Lyrics is going to try and do the exact same thing. I wonder if Zenith is going to do anything about it this time.
Nope.
Wrong side of the compound.
Same thing.
Unlucky.
They're just going to steal some loot and a vehicle away from D plus Kia. As the arena is going to pull off, Lyrics is going to find himself with a decent amount of loot. He's got a 2 helmet, 2 vests, as well as an SLR. Oof, love that DMR, by the way. Easily my favorite. And yeah, he's going to get out for free. What's your favorite DMR, actually? Let me ask.
You don't know this, or are you pranking me?
No, I genuinely don't know this.
SKS all day, every day.
What bad after my own
Let's see now, the nade! Oh, damage done, but can't find anything. Perfector still finds everything as Sharp Shot Pixel falls down. We were questioning the potential of bridge camps, and well, here is one. Right off the side, again, Perfectix has one rock to sit behind. The good thing for him is he makes perfect use of it. They did not see this one coming at all.
Not at all, and that's going to be very frustrating for Friendly Fire. Yeah, he's... Good night, sweet prince. You've done enough. Actually, you really did do it last game, but last game he did quite a bit. But yeah, this is not the start again. It's just going to be Paige and Roth now as they survive that very effective bridge camp. But look at this, Lou actually ahead of them. I'm curious if he's going to hear this, or maybe they catch him off guard, or maybe he's just going to finish off the team.
He'd have to. I would be surprised if Lou just full speed sends it after him. I mean, again, Twisted Minds, it has come off to a really good start, but For any team out here, I mean, we've seen even them have a very hard time getting back-to-back good games going. So I think it's just too much of a risk. And for Twisted Minds in particular, now them setting up a bridge camp, it's very unlike a Twisted Minds playstyle. They usually don't create these sort of very early game trap situations. But again, for them here, being in and around Palace, I just think it made perfect sense to go, you know, let's see if we can get one. We full commit everyone, so it's not just a one guy, two guy thing. If something goes awry, we are all here to help. So little risk, so I suppose you can say, involved for them. And this time around, well, 2 kills off of it.
Yeah, 2 kills off of it, and I'm sure they've also done their homework, right?
Oh, definitely.
They've seen that, you know, this team likes to cross around this time, or this bridge is very popular. So yeah, I'm not surprised, as you weren't as well, to see that effectively done by Twisted Minds. As now a lot of the other teams started to make their way into the circle. We do see 17 crossing one of those bridges as well, as they find themselves just under 4AM's position, and pretty much everyone at this point has made it to the circle, aside from Petrichor, E-Arena, and then all the way in the south, actually, it's going to be Tyloo.
Yeah. See as the remaining 2 friendly fire players make their way up towards the top. I think we have an interview ready in
it's going to be
in just a couple of moments from Forest. Yeah, we'll wait with that one to be set up. And now here's Page and Roth chilling. I think they're going to be chilling at least for a little while longer, as Master sets up the emergency pickup. We've seen it work perfectly for 3rd and 5, so we'll see if it can here as we get a word in from the Master.
เสียใจนิดหน่อยครับแต่ก็เราไม่ได้เล่นตามมาตรฐานของตัวเองครับที่ตัวเองตั้งไว้ครับฟอร์มก็เลยแย่แบบนี้พวกเราก็ต้องฝึกต้องกลับไปทำการบ้านให้หนักขึ้นครับแล้วก็ซ้อมให้หนักขึ้นแต่พวกเรายังไม่ยอมแพ้ครับพวกเราจะกลับไปให้ได้ครับพวกเราต้องเรียกขวัญกำลังใจทีมไฟท์ให้ทีมตัวเองแบบว่ากลับมาให้ได้ครับแล้วก็พวกเราต้องเล่นตามเกมที่เราแบบว่าซ้อมทุกวันแล้วก็มาในถึงระดับ global ได้ครับ
Yeah, and I really like hearing that from you. You know, we're just focused on making it to the grand finals. Hopefully we can just support each other and make sure we get there. And yeah, I mean, we did see some flashes of brilliance actually from Forest in the group stages, especially from Scappy actually. Scappy was doing a lot of work, getting many kills, and I like this position here from Master, as they're going to be able to see so much of what's happening in the circle.
Rare times that you wish you had a 15x, but I think for him right now it wouldn't be the worst scope to be in position of. Here we see DD team, they'll be safely crossing on over. And to go back to Forest for a brief moment, I mean, a team that I think probably, if not E-Arena, then Forest is the biggest surprise qualifying team out of pretty much all 24. So not too surprised to see them in the lower bracket. They come out of APAC, and I think them coming back to APAC and maybe trying to take things away from some of the successful APAC teams that are here. They're a team that has shown, as you said, small glimmers of hope, and just to be able to come back to your region with global experience. Whether you come out in first place or last place, you have sat on lane, you've been on this stage, especially with bad games have gone your way too. That experience can just really boost you when you come back to your region again.
Defeat can absolutely be one of the best teachers, right? And especially, as you said, getting all of this experience. I mean, even if they are a team that falls in very last place, I mean, the fact that they were here, the fact that they got to really kind of get a piece of what it's like to play against some of the best teams in the world, that is going to be a massive boon for them to go back into their region, not only just for them, but also all the other teams that maybe came here and got their first LAN experience.
Oh, Xiao Yang jumped out of his car in the hunt for kickstart, but because it did, his car is going to send its way down the hill. I don't think it made it. Nope, it stopped right there. So not in the water just yet, but it is sliding down. And Kick obviously with just been fired towards it before. Here's that. Double headshot comes through. Xiao Yang torn apart.
Beautiful there from Kickstart, but now, I mean, he's got to get back. Yeah, he's not really that close to his team, as we do see Rollo starting to make the adjustment here to try to support Kick. And if they could get rid of Tyloo early, that would be massive.
Imagine 118 hit in there. He's going to throw a second one in the exact same spot. This one, though, a little bit too far, as it was cooked for a bit longer. Oh, I was just going to say long. That nade didn't go far, and indeed it did not. Xiao Yang knocked once more. Is this going to be the kind of the go call for LG? Perhaps. I mean, Kick is still set up close. You can see the remaining Luminosity players have positioned around it. The issue is they're also hearing the cast from 17 right behind them. So very quickly, I think for LG, if they don't react now, either push or don't, they will get third party. So nice call. You can see Rillo instantly driving off as they heard the cast come in, picking up Kickstart as well. They want to reset. They want to get out of here.
I like this. They had an opportunity there, although it wasn't that great. But yeah, the catalyst just wasn't enough for them to actually make that push. And as you said, yeah, I mean, just look at that area though, Toby. You want to talk about trying to get across the river. That's a perfect example of how difficult it can be, as that was just basically a 90-degree slope that they would have had to traverse to go straight up. And imagine if there was another team actually camping that side.
Exactly. Not easy to work with. And for 17, you can see the fact that they try and go out and make these sort of plays. They're hungry. they had, again, a team with a great group stage that just completely fumbled in winner's bracket, right? It's a very similar story to the one of Na'Vi, where things just worked against them. I mean, APAC came out and just proved to be too much of a bird for them to deal with. 17 in particular, also having a lot of runnings with Sonics, who are currently playing some of their best PUBG. Circle, though, towards Kanjong we go, as this one still including a lot of water.
Yeah, again, I'm still very curious what's going to happen when we do get a proper city ending. As you said, Yangshan still in the circle, as that's actually a really awkward little city to fight in, because it's split evenly between north and south, and there's quite a lot of buildings and angles to try to have to clear through there. So it also doesn't really hold that many teams effectively, but looking at the west side, so many rotations happening here, Toby.
Everyone trying to get their foot on, and they know that it's going to be a very, very small bottleneck to have to traverse through. So if you get there early, you might avoid all of the confrontations coming with it. Twisted Minds, we're checking in with Lou here, as he's trying to essentially backfill friendly fire right now. 4am shooting in the air, saying, everyone get away from our compound. There's a lot of people up here. We don't need anyone crashing us right now. I think that's the wise thing to do. You don't need to shoot at the opponents, just let off a ton of shots and really make people think twice about crashing your compound.
Especially when these rotations are happening. If you hear 2, 3, 4 people firing, you're just not going to want to crash. It's just not worth it at that point. And yeah, 4 men have done a great job to kind of stave away a lot of these rotations around them, as E-Arena finally dropping in. It looks like right on top of Emo Pig.
Oh, and he has no clue, does he? He hasn't been shot to anything yet at all. And now he's being seen from down below. Sizzy spots him over the top, jumps down, gets him in return as well. Just to go back to 4am for a second before this entire circle pops off. They're playing, I think, coming into this in very similar fashion to Twisted Minds as well. They got to play smart, they got to play control. So for them not to engage in all the commotion, third-party pull-ups and all that in this fight, very smart decision-making. They want to have control. And with multiple teams driving on in, as Flood gets blown up by Perfectix, it would have been impossible for them to control anything with the amount of teams coming that direction there.
Because normally, as you said, you know, 4am is a very aggressive team, and they generally would flex out to try to get those. But at this point, it's just much more worth it to just play, as you said, smart PUBG, which came straight from Batulin. Says, the last one's alive. He will get knocked, and yeah, LG.
LG is still kind of playing off of the kind of the weird split they were in earlier, caused by Tai Lu, and just couldn't reset in time properly. And with all the teams just out of nowhere, full speed sending in their direction, it's very limited what they could do in a wide 2-1-1 split. So Snakers now all that's left alive on the LG team, as they try to at least get something out of this game.
And he could still salvage some kills.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's going to be on the south side alone, so maybe, you know, we'll be able to come in and strike later.
I mean, we all know the Snake Circle's going to hard shift towards the south. Then we go down towards Tanvu and Dilwyn. It's just bound to happen.
I see you got the script.
Yeah, well, exactly. I received it earlier. I know what's about to happen. And for Snakers, well, he's just going to be chilling.
Snakers is chilling, as is 17, as they just got that massive airdrop the way of them, so they're going to be able to loot quite a bit of utility. Excuse me, not utility, but they're going to be able to loot quite a bit of armor, as well as some nice crate weapons. Preferably, I'm sure they'd love a P90 in there, which it seems almost like every time that drops, there's a P90 there.
Yeah, there sure are quite a few of them. As of late, speaking of, Nuren's full level 3 gear already. Sure that one of his day trade team members is well equipped with a great crate gun too. As Menura, I think for now, gets to run off. Norrens was about to jump over, heard the footsteps, but did not commit to it fast enough.
Daytrade trying to spring this trap and get maybe a knock or two. That'd be nice.
They still have Flash far back in the compound. I think it makes good sense for them. Again, I mean, Daytrade also have not had a whole lot of good games back to back, so it's been hard for them. Snakers fell. He didn't read the same script that I did, as the circle actually does go down towards the south. I guess I just read my script wrong. Snakers wasn't going to go out and get himself a good one here, but this one is going to be fun, because no matter where we place this phase 4, water is going to be in. Yeah. So there might just be a world where this one goes south, because again, there's going to be water in regardless, but is it going to be enough? Example, down early, Melman now being shot at as well, as Friendly Fire, with only 2 left alive, are trying to do some damage.
Yeah, that's the one thing about Friendly Fire. That team will always find a way to be scrappy and get some kills, even when they're down at 1 or just 2. We've seen it before. We've seen it for Pixel. We've seen it for Page. All 4 members of that team can be very dangerous, even as solos. But now look at D plus Key, as Daytrade realizes, okay, this is not worth it anymore. Is look at this circle that split. We were just talking about how difficult that coastline can be to play on both sides of it.
I mean,
where is Flash going?
I love the way that Flash is playing this, and that's why you're seeing Day Trade currently back off. It's outside the circle. They don't need to aggress. And look at where Flash is on the far southern side. He's set up a massive perimeter with the open space in between Belmont and Flash, saying, boys, come down to me. I can see this entire area. I don't even mind tanking a bit of blue for now, because if this one swings east, I have found a place for us to go. So I think the way that he's currently setting up far down that southern soul line, we know that the likes of European Ascent does it. We know that Gen G does it. Full spread out on these edges of circles to claim as much info as you can, especially when the circles shift away from you. Really nice from Flash to go down there early on.
Yeah, and even though it does look like there's not a lot to play, there's actually a lot of room that they can have, especially under that bridge. They'd be able to take quite a bit of control there in the southwest. And as you said, a really great play there from Flash. He was able to buy them so much space.
Yeah, exactly. We see Sabem set up the mortars. Haven't seen a whole lot come off it just yet. In the meantime, Sanghet and his fellow teammates trying to make their way to safety as they find little Ghost in transition. Oh, there's a glider. Let's drive past that.
Ooh, that's a glider. As Hella will go down, but even here, Game PT does have a nice position here just to the off-angle center there to the west side. You do have Sarvin in between, but the problem here now is being in center so early, especially in the circle with so little cover, is causing issues as you do see everyone taking shots at them left, right, and center.
Again, we are expecting alongside everyone else that this one should go towards the northwest, but there is a hope for any Expendables fans out there and for Delwyn and Tanwu that this somehow manages to shift down the other direction. But for the most part, everyone right now playing Phase 5 PUBG and Phase 3 because there's so little space for all these teams to move around.
There's also very much a world where this just, again, keeps that river center, which we're talking about. That's just so difficult to play. There's not really many rotations these teams that are going to be able to make. They're even going to be safe at that point, as everyone is pretty much already set up in the circle.
Sure are. 4 AM having to leave the compound now with the blue being on their back. They haven't really engaged in this fight just yet. They've seen a couple of knocks come through, and now they want a piece of it. As I say that, they'll know they're driving straight through it. But health comes through from the other side as Hunter finds one. A knock comes in return onto Scabby Circle. Those swing north as, again, most people probably expected. So now, waiting to see how 4 AM are going to engage on this fight. That is now a three-way between Twisted Minds, Forest, and 4 AM.
4 AM being the ones in this position for so long would desperately love to get rid of the teams up to the north, because that would pretty much give them control of the entire circle here at this point, as you do see Lou kind of hitting that off-angle southern anchor for the team, as Crazy is going to find and flush Scappy, and this is going to be a very, very awkward fight.
Because 4 AM are not aggressing faster, it just makes it so much more difficult for Forest and Twisted Minds to really do anything. And I love the fact that they haven't, because they have D+ right behind them. And I think they're reading that too. HSMM got shot at earlier by them. It was like, guys, we cannot fully commit because we're going to get backstabbed instantly if we do. So play it patient. Yes, you could risk everything for 3 or 4 kills. Rather just play it smart on the backside and claim whatever you can for free.
Yeah, and even still though, Twisted has been fighting. You see that 5 kills the way of Perfectus, and Lou is a duo. I mean, they're very strong. They can still salvage this game as they're still in the circle and they get more and more points. But 4 AM is slowly going to start closing it. As you'd imagine, they've been keeping track of the kill feed and realize they're just down to 2 members.
Exactly. If they could somehow back off here, they'd be all kinds of perfect. Perfectix 400 damage, 5 kills already. Could be a 6, but I don't imagine that knock being converted into a flush anytime soon.
No, they should be able to get up. Crazy as he will stand now. Delwyn and his teammate just trying to make it through. I believe it's Tambu. They actually do. They make it across that bridge some way, somehow.
Where are they going?
Where do they go?
You go over to Salem. They're getting mortared as they're driving on by here. And now the entirety of Salem is spotted into somehow very limited damage has been done as more damage does start to come through. But Expendables, where are you planning on setting up shop as they quickly realize there's people everywhere? And now straight into the open arms of Game PT they go. Game PT victorious in that one.
So again, this is starting to become a little worrisome with this 3rd game now, where the Expendables have struggled. 2 of them just coming into a late rotation and just dying. And I just hope that this doesn't become a trend for the team, who's just been doing so well overall.
Yeah. They trade as well now with Belmont knocked. Gotta get the res on up. Should be a not easy but doable res, as they have found themselves sort of entangled with Tai Lu. A little annoying for them that Xiaowu on the other side here of the fields is engaging in this, because had it just been an up-close fight, you'd imagine that even with them having to push in, they're in the better position for now. But Xiaowu just not wanting to cut Flash any slack whatsoever.
No, and why not, right? They are in a little bit of a rough position, as you see them in that fight, as you said, with Tai Lu as well. And so if they can get as many knocks on this as possible, that would be very beneficial, as now it's going to be another trade coming the way, not in the favor of Day Trade.
Not at all. Xiaoyang spots flash in the backside. He's going to have to get off the angle as too many scopes are looking his way. Nate just a bit short, but there are 2 knocks in favor of Day Trade on this side up close, as now more casualties are being taken, and that's going to be Day Trade out. Reses could come through issuers had it not been for Petrichor.
Yeah, but the damage has already been done, as you see Tai Lu as well just getting shredded, as D plus Kia will also fall, and that's going to be... Yeah, it's going to be quite a lot of teams already out of this lobby. As now look at this next shift, Toby. Very much open space. In fact, a lot of this is open space around Sarvam.
Sure is. We are seeing the Mortars rain on in. We have already seen 2 knocks on DD team from Mortars, from Sarvam over on the other side. Don't bring a gun to a mortar fight when you're set this far apart from one another. I think Spaceman and his teammate currently just running around, looking into the air, dodging and weaving as best as they can. But Sarvam, they might find themselves, look at them, they're all looking up in the air, might find themselves in trouble as mortars start raining towards them too.
Fortunately, these aren't too close just yet, but they've actually made themselves a nice little vehicle for, I say it's a fort, it's more of a line, but this has actually provided them a decent amount of cover. But this will start to become an issue, especially when you have teams like Game PT come around towards the west, and even 17 might wrap around this, but they also still have to deal with 4EM, who has not moved on the north.
Exactly, and speaking of 17, looking to try and find out exactly what they want to do, and I think they realize now we have to take this fight north side. If we want control of the north, we are already containing Game PT inside the shack down by the road. If we can contain, like if we can clear this entire north side, we're going to be very, very, very much in a good position to try and make a play further forward.
But 4EM, what is their play? I mean, they know they're now getting assaulted for the team of 17. Their rotation further north is only going to be exacerbated by the problem that is Twisted Minds now in that position. So 17 also pulling up ahead of them.
Yeah, 17 just slowly creeping on in. Just one more tree and they'll be inside the circle. Again, try to isolate Game PT, try to wrap around them, try and take full control and not allow for them to leave the shack. Issuers, Daku has already done just that, realizing quickly that they need to try and do something to 17 on this rotation, or else they'll just get blue zoned to hell in that shack.
And now you see 4EM starting to pull up. It is just down to a duo now. Is look at this. Daku from GPT is coming around the backside, trying to get a spray into it, and Xiaowu is going to find Xiaopian.
I like this aggression again. I mean, because Game PT is like flanking out this direction, they're forcing this fight to happen at a really, really uncomfortable pace for 17. Now they do come out victorious, but Xiao Bei is knocked, and I would hope to see Game PT try and make a play on it, but no, they're falling back towards the shack once again, allowing for 17 to reset. In the meantime, Arena eliminated. That's them out in 9th.
Curious how many kills now Perfectix actually has. There's 2 more gone his way. It's just absolute monster on the field right now, as Game PT has a very interesting neighbor just to the other side of this Rise Patty.
Well, Long's found one just before, and now he found himself a P90 bullet straight to the face. As Babsang hit, takes him down, and that's going to be Tai Lu once again struggling a little bit to get things going here on Takeover.
The circle now shifting again. Sarvam are just finding themselves in the center of the circle. Again, another great position, but I like GPT's position is actually much better, as they have so much more cover to work with and they're not hunkered down stuck in the center.
Well, I think for good reason they're going to play this one a bit on their back foot, but how can Hush, how can Babsang Head kind of as a fortifier do any sort of assistance to their teammates on the other side? For Uber, I think it's, and for the remaining Na'Vi players, I should say, I think it's pretty clear cut. They need to just roam forward. They need to take the fight to DD team and get the kill, and that's exactly what they did. Nate, primed, leapt on forward. Easy peasy for them as they go one rug at a time.
Still 8 kills. They should very easily be able to recover Mel here, and although they've had a very good game so far, they still have to contend with a team of Petrichor to the south. It is just a duo, and Ice left and Mill, but they still have to deal with that position, as they also need to move into the circle. And not only that, let's look at 17, but also Perfectus has to make his way in, but it's going to be easier. At least he's a solo.
Again, I mean, also kudos to Game PT for the way they've been playing this game. Again, proactive out of the shack. We saw them in previous 100%. Games, in group stage in particular. Just full commit to fights. They were never really going to win to begin with. Full speed sending it into the middle in spots they haven't checked. Here, they have the shack on lockdown. They can roam out. They can try and take more control. And they're currently holding 17 in check pretty damn well.
This is actually a nice little ridge. It's not quite in, but Na'Vi will be able to kind of pull up here and maybe do some work, get rid of Perfectus, maybe look to the north. But more importantly, if they can do enough damage to Sarvum from this distance, they have a mortar set up there, they might be able to take over this position.
I mean, at least for Navi, I don't think Sarvum has any more mortar shells, because that could quickly become an issue for them if they did. Hella able to stand strong, finds one, as Perfectix goes, you know what, I'll take that one. I think he's at 9 kills now, or 8, we'll see 8. That is absolutely insane. Almost finds another Sushi now as well. Xiao Wu goes down, and he's just not done yet. Perfectix keeps on going.
And there's no way, with the help of GPT, they're actually going to backstab 17 here, and Perfectix is going to stay alive as he does even more damage to the Chinese team in the north.
Snakes are dangerous, especially when they are of Twisted Minds. So much damage coming through. As Perfectix finds the knock-on example as well. He is just a one-man army, dealing with every single threat coming his way with the 8 HP coming in. You'd imagine that Xiao Bei wins this. Xiao Bei, hello.
And he's still alive!
There you go, in the end he will fall. Couldn't reload, swapped over to the pan just for flair, and in the end he will fall, but so will the entirety of Sarvum.
And he was just a one-man raid boss, just going from team to team, doing so much damage. As now Daku will find Xiao Bei, 17 will fall. And they have been playing just immaculately.
But now how do they bring this one home? Na'Vi has fought their way on in. Petrichor has been down to Ixlift and Mill for quite a while and sat on that southern shore for a long time. They have the numbers, they have the advantage, but can they close this one out?
So they do take a nice position here. I like this. Going for the north side again. Game PT just have so much control at this point, and with that circle shift, it all but guarantees them. I don't want to jinx them, but I mean, this really is a game for them to lose.
It really is. It really is. We've seen 2v4s just last week, or this week, I should say. No, it was last week, because it's Tuesday today. In any case, Petrichor, I think if there's one team you don't want to be shooting at right now, that's Na'Vi. You got to somehow corral this one. You got to say duos, unite, and well, Petrichor pushes around the southern side. Na'Vi has to somehow get off this rock towards the north. Issue is Na'Vi has to move first, and Petrichor really wants that second place guaranteed.
Yeah, so I do worry about this angle here. You see Petrichor slowly, Ixleft slowly trying to get the southern wrap as Uba is going to find the knock on to Daku, and so the two duos could come together to be a full format to kind of get rid of Game PT, so...
One of the main issues here is that Game PT are currently split widely 2-1-1, so Hella is in no position to res his teammate, and Mel sees this instantly. As soon as the knock comes through, they need to suppress while Uber crosses on over, perfectly holding that angle, forcing Hella down to try and heal on up again. And now, Uber, while he doesn't have the flush just yet, he's crept ever so much closer and is now inside the circle.
And I'm sure Na'Vi is like, guys, please, Petrichor, where are you? Look at how much work we're doing, the amount of distractions and damage that have been done. Obviously, Daku already falling, and now this pull-up from Uva could be huge as Hella is all by himself.
Oh my lord, the nade right on point. Hella was almost full HP, and they get him down. Na'Vi 10 make that 11 kills. Should they be able to get the flush onto Hella as well? And just like that, the 4-man strong Game PT, who stood so strong for a long time, are starting to fall apart to the duos of Na'Vi and Petrichor Road.
Speaking of duos now, it's just down to a 2v2v2 as this fight breaking off to the east side. At least Hush will find Ixleft, and Bobsingham will find Mel. So all of a sudden, they're fighting back, and that is Na'Vi out of there. This is a 2v1, Toby.
We saw the Game PT win over on Miramar. It wasn't clean, but they brought it home, and here, oh, so close. Mill down to 1.5 HP, but he is at 28 as well. Primes on 8, throws it forward, cold with the nade in hand, but able to get back down behind the rock.
And just like that, they have been able to claw back. It was looking so precarious here for the team of Game PT as they now have the advantage here, and they know exactly where Mill is, but they still can't get too overzealous because they could turn this into a 1v1.
The fact that they aren't fully committing to this, they know they have a knock, they know it's a 2v1, they know that the Hush knows that it did so much damage to him, and yet they're playing this one passive, allowing one in now. 2v1 guaranteed. Group up, play this one together. You have a P90, and right now you're allowing Mill to deny the damage coming through. We'll see if it does get it through. It does indeed. Able to get the first hit off, but again, why give him these chances to turn this one around? Full HP once again. We'll see if the P90 of Babsam Head can bring them yet another win.
I think they're just trying to maintain a little bit of control. Obviously, there was quite a bit of chaos, losing 2 members.
He's using their smokes against them.
But yeah,
They've lost him.
he's actually, this is very dangerous. This is something I don't like for GPT now.
They've completely lost him again. Aggressor when you can. You have a P90 for the same exact reason. Hush now lobbing smokes down towards his teammates, but that's going to work against him. Smokes, while it's a little, do minimize the footsteps out. Now spots one peaks on over. Hush taken down instantly now on the receiving end of it. Again, it's Papsang head out there, converting what could be losses into wins. The janitor strikes again.
The janitor sweeps again as he does clean that one up, but that got very dangerous there for the team of Game of PT as they were able to clean it up. That being said, they were so proactive during that game. The control they were able to kind of exercise against that circle on the west side was very impressive.
Phenomenal mid-game for Game PT, and a win, I will say, in the end, but probably not in the fashion that they would have wanted it. But again, I mean, GPT up against the GPTs of Petrico and Na'Vi, out victorious they come. And this makes for a good conversation of now we have Savim win, now we have a Game PT win. Two teams that we didn't maybe consider to be the top 8 here, but it's just gonna make those final games tomorrow that much closer.